I worked way too hard. That's the easy, incomplete answer to the question in the title, but obviously, there's a bit more to it than that. A year ago, I was a nobody who never went on social media, who worked a minimum wage service industry job, who barely knew how to use a computer, but who had always loved video games and the art behind them. Honestly, today, I'm in every way exactly the same person. But now I also have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Today, I want to try to tell you as honestly as I can how exactly I think that happened. There are several things, however, that this video won't do. It won't tell you how to get big on YouTube step by step, and won't be a list of best practices for content creation, and I'm not selling you a course or a guide. I likely will never make another video like this. What I will do is try to bring you the video that I wished I had seen when I was a kid. I hope that by explaining my personal experiences, admitting my biases, my privileges, by picking apart my mistakes and poor planning, explaining why my thumbnails look like that, why my videos are so dramatic and scripted, why I take the sponsor integrations I do, etc., I'll be able to paint a more honest picture of what goes into growing an online presence from absolutely nothing than a 10 steps to growing on YouTube video ever would. Now, while I didn't try to become a content creator myself until around the middle of 2023, I had been paying very, very close attention to the space for over a decade. I wanted more than ever to be a Let's Player back in 2009 to 2010 when that scene first started up. I could neither play or record videos myself back then, and instead watched vicariously from the sidelines of YouTube as the gaming industry evolved. I saw YouTubers blow up, fizzle out. I saw what worked and what didn't. I was just a fan. I wasn't intending to do it actively, but I was subconsciously studying the entire industry. As my life went on and my interest in gaming waxed and waned over the years, all this info was somewhere in the back of my head. And that's likely where it would have stayed had the world gone on its normal, expected course. I likely wouldn't be here now, had I not been in exactly the wrong place at the right time. In March of 2020, I was just finishing school when the COVID-19 pandemic hit hard. I was laid off from a monotonous and soul-crushing minimum wage part-time job at a paper manufacturing company, and was subsequently put on federal unemployment stimulus. With little but rent, food, and school expenses to spend the money on, and making more from not working than I ever had, I saved for the first time in my life a little bit of money. It's a random moment like this that we often forget or look over, but the PC monitor and office chair that I bought with that little bit of stimulus money are the same ones that I'm using to make this video today. Why am I telling you my life story? Because I want to make it clear that while I may have built my online career without any prior connections or internet presence at all, there were aspects of privilege at play. I didn't pay for my PC. I didn't pay for my Premiere Pro subscription. I only paid for roughly half of my college tuition. While a place to live, a computer, and some ideas are all I really started with, there are advantages that not everyone out there would have had. They certainly are not nothing. This was random and happenstance. It's what I did with it later that wasn't. A game that has everything: PvE dungeons and PvP arenas, hundreds and hundreds of champions, tactical upgrade systems. They're about to bring a lot more to the table than ever before. Now, I love how many options we have for customizing your group of champions, the amount of free gifts you get for taking part in check-ins and challenges. This month, though, things are going to another level. You could win an actual VR headset, handheld gaming console, a drone, or more just for registering for Raid Shadow Legends with a QR code on screen or the link in my description, going to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com. Yes, that's actually what the website's called. And taking part in the challenge there. The top 12 posts will win one of these sick prizes that I just mentioned before, but seriously, that's not an opportunity that you're going to get every day. And hey, while you're at it, any new or returning raid players will get the legendary Ninja Champion for free just for playing the game. Again, when you sign up with my code and enter the promo code Ninja Returns, you'll get him and all of his useful in-game items. This is something that players have been asking for years. So on sign up, you'll not only be given all those great bonuses, an epic starter pack with the Orc Champion Tagore, the epic High Elf Champion Tayrel once you hit level 15, and have the opportunity to win all those IRL prizes that I mentioned before. Seriously, there has never been a better time to jump in. Join my clan while you're there, and don't forget to sign up using my code in the description or the on-screen QR to get all those extra bonuses. Thank you again to Raid Shadow Legends for the support and helping this video happen. I think of myself as starting YouTube in around October of 2023. If you already follow this channel now, you may not know that a year prior, I made solely short-form content on TikTok, centered around Escape from Tarkov news and discussion. Coming out of COVID, it was the game that I essentially spent the last 2 years hyper-focused on, and in January of 2023, I made a challenge for myself. Post at least 1 minute-long TikTok a day for a year, utilizing the knowledge and analysis of the game that I had subconsciously been accruing. Why TikTok of all things? I didn't use the app at all and I never wanted to. Essentially, it was because the Tarkov space on YouTube was saturated with long-form content and vertical format shorts content, all primarily focused on memes and gameplay clips. I recognized that I had neither a relatable sense of humor or personality, or the skills to be noticed for my gameplay alone. What I did have was the ability to talk precisely about things that I liked, skills that I acquired through my art history studies in school. I identified an open market for myself. My hypothesis was create concise, attention-grabbing content edited to a higher quality than the norm on the platform, provide a nuanced and balanced perspective, and establish a generally positive tone. Do these things with some consistency, and people might show up for it. It was a shot in the dark. That was validated when my first short on Tarkov lore hit 1 million views, not breathtaking numbers by TikTok standards, but proving that there were people out there who would watch my videos if I put care and effort into them. Providing value. It was the idea for my content that I judged all of my creative decisions on, a piece of advice that I learned very early on. My video needed to provide something to the viewer that they couldn't find anywhere else. Compared to the rest of the platform, it needed to be better edited, better written, or it needed to be first. And often, I tried to do all three at once. I got to where I could write, record, fully edit, and post one of these shorts within an hour. Sometimes on a big news day, I'd post up to 5 shorts, some being made in less than 20 minutes. Purely driven by the adrenaline rush of getting better content out there faster than anyone else, I established an editing workflow that allowed me to work unhealthily quickly. I started re-editing my TikToks into YouTube Shorts in August to September of 2023, and by December, my YouTube channel had become monetized. I felt that it was time to take on the next big challenge, actual full-on long-form YouTube videos. I really should have thought about it a little bit more carefully. One of my greatest weaknesses in life has been my inability to ever plan ahead. I started making TikToks on a whim, and suddenly, I was the Tarkov news lore and clips guy. I'd established how to bring value to my viewers, and I tried very hard to do it well, but I never took a second to think about what that value needed to be, or why. And I needed to, for my viewers' sakes and for my own. Up until this point, I'd really only made content completely centering around Escape from Tarkov. But I knew myself. I felt that a year from then, I probably wouldn't be as dedicated to the game as I had been, much less in 10 years from then. One of the hugest mistakes that a YouTuber, streamer, or creator can do is sink themselves into an inescapable niche that they don't want to be in. If I had established myself as a Tarkov creator and anything creator, that's what I'd always be until I put serious work into digging myself out of that niche. If I was going to do this, like really do it, I needed to diversify and I needed to do it now. Here was the moment where I needed to take a step back, where I should have taken a look at what videos I truly wanted to create, what style and vibe I wanted them to have, what audience I wanted to garner. That's what I should have done. Instead, I made another knee-jerk decision. The first couple videos that I ever posted on this channel were as follows: a machinima made for the Tarkov community competition, which I happened to win, a TikTok I re-edited into horizontal format dealing with some stuff about the upcoming Tarkov patch dates, and a beginner's guide to the Tarkov offshoot game Arena. Yeah, things have changed a bit. What I noticed immediately after these videos was a phenomenon that I had been warned about. My 19,000 something subscribers that I'd gained up until this point from shorts did not amount to guaranteed views. Like, not at all. It was also immediately clear to me that whatever cute edits that I had been doing in my short form content were not going to cut it in the big leagues. If I was going to stand out against an entire platform, I was going to need to do so with purpose. I'd had my eyes on the recently announced Gray Zone Warfare a month before and decided to use it as a bit of a test, both diversifying my content away from Escape from Tarkov and giving myself a platform to really try out multiple new editing techniques and styles of video. And this is where I began my second major mistake of my short career. My first couple real videos tested out, one, a fully documentary narrative style, highly edited and short. The second was a video essay style breakdown reporting on news, and the third was a straight up video essay. No new information, but purely my thoughts bouncing off visuals, music, and graphics. I always attempted a style somewhere between motion graphics of sports montages and the Discovery Channel over-editing style of the 2000s. I felt that nostalgia and TV quality editing were both powerful catalysts for making my content appear high quality, whatever that means. I used some retention editing techniques that I learned from TikTok and tried to pace everything to music and sound effects, almost like a music video.
Is not fun.
Early on, I noticed a dangerous pattern. People were calling me the Gray Zone Warfare guy. I can't wait for more GZW videos. When's the next Gray Zone Warfare news video? It was exactly what I'd feared. I had typecasted myself right off the bat. But I couldn't just stop. The algorithm would notice if my content wasn't what my subscribers wanted to see, and it would punish me for it. Here's the thing, I love making videos on new games. It's that excitement for a new cool thing that gets me up in the morning. But the value of the video needs to extend outside the game itself. I first noticed how effective this could be with this video, still one of my most viewed. It divided the attention between news about an upcoming game and interesting real-world subject matter, all presented in a documentary format. My hope was that the video would be interesting by itself, regardless if the viewer was there for the news-related subject matter. As I made more and more content from February to June, I began to strategize purposefully. I began to make rules and tenets for myself as a creator during this time, and while they're utterly arbitrary, I've seen how following them, or failing to, helps or hurts a video's potential success. The first one that I've already mentioned repeatedly, identify and bring value. If I wouldn't watch the video from beginning to end myself, neither would my viewer. But more importantly, I need to know what I'm uniquely bringing to the table before I even start outlining a script. Identifying what my strengths are, research writing skills, knowledge of art and art history, avant-garde film and music, my niche interests are all things that I can dial in on in ways which bring a more unique tone and touch to my videos, which the right people will connect with. Rather than shooting for mass appeal, warp niche appeal through a lens of approachability. A video about the development of panoramic night vision goggles being presented in a documentary format about video games is a perfect example of me doing this, in my opinion, pretty effectively. Being true to myself. I've spent much of my life masking my true interests, trying not to be cringe, more approachable, whatever. This channel pushed me out of my comfort zone in how I speak, what creative decisions I make, but honestly, it also comes in the form of what I make and how I monetize it. I decided early on that I would only be morally okay making content if it truly came from me. For an example, I was recently invited to fly to Europe to take part in the marketing campaign for an upcoming tactical extraction shooter, in turn for making several fully sponsored videos. It probably would have been life-changing money. I turned it down. It's why I'm okay with doing mid-roll ads, but have never done full-length sponsored content. If I do, it'll be because it's a subject that I was already enthusiastically gonna make anyway. Crytek, my email is open. Killing your darlings. This is a classic writing technique and one of the most important. If the thing that I'm working on, be it an edit, sound effect, flow of a paragraph, maybe even an entire video or script, if that thing isn't working, if it isn't bringing value, kill it. I do this literally constantly, and there are videos that you all will never see because of it. Catering to emotion. The key ones that I shoot for are nostalgia, longing, anticipation, and hope. What this means is almost impossible to quantify, but I consistently judge how to edit or assemble a piece based on leaving the audience with a sense of felt emotion, and hopefully a somewhat positive one. During the transition from the 16th to 17th centuries in Europe, the Catholic Church argued the importance that art play a multifaceted role, that it must delight, instruct, and move its viewer. The art should be clear and persuasive. It should be beautiful to look at, it should clearly educate its viewer on the intended subject, and it should bring the viewer to emotion, in most cases to truly feel the reality of Christ's sacrifice or suffering. Delight, instruct, move also actually dates back to the so-called Horatian platitude, Horace's oft-repeated instruction that literature should instruct and delight. Long story short, it seems that people have connected with media in similar ways since the 1st century at least. Whether I'm deciding where to cut a line, where to end a track, which clip to use, or what tone of voice to speak in, I'm applying Horace's 2,000-year-old literary techniques, even if subconsciously. But that is the wild thing about YouTube. All this planning, thought, and analysis, it's tried, but not necessarily true. Videos I've put an entire month of thought into, weeks of writing, editing into the night, and making 20, 30 thumbnail iterations on, these videos might fail. And a video that I hate, that feels utterly incomplete, that I just fire and forget to be done with it, might spark a huge conversation that I never wanted to engage in. A video can just hit the algo, and boom, I gained 70,000 subscribers in a month. Yeah, that's basically what happened. And if it feels like this long-winded tale of my YouTube journey sort of crashed to the end, that's how it feels for me too. I've been so caught up in improving and analyzing my own techniques that I can't really grasp that my entire goal for YouTube to eventually hit 100K was reached in barely 6 months. The silver plaque with my name on it is still in its box in my closet somewhere. Part of it is, I don't really feel like I earned it. While the 2 million view video which skyrocketed my platform to new heights was obviously made by me, planned, researched, written, and edited by me, it was about someone else's art. And while every video that I've made covering a game are videos that I'm proud of to a degree, they're just videos riding off of the work of far more talented people. I just can't take credit for that. It's dilemmas like this that I still struggle with for the future of this channel. How do I avoid becoming the insert game or subject here guy while still talking about things that I love? How do I bring the level of quality and tonal specificity that I expect of myself to the table regularly and consistently? Sometimes it can feel like an impossible puzzle. There's this classic Taoist text about an old man who lost his horse. The horse runs into barbarian territory. People say, "Oh, what bad luck." The farmer says, "Maybe." The horse comes back, bringing many healthy new horses with it. "Oh, what good luck," the people say. The farmer says, "Maybe." His son ends up riding one of the horses and falls, breaks his leg. "Bad luck," people say, and the farmer says, "Maybe." When the barbarians attack later, many of the military-aged men in the town are killed, except the son because of his broken leg. "Such good luck," all the townspeople say, and the farmer says, "Maybe." That little parable always stuck with me, and it's sort of how I've treated every good or bad decision that I've made regarding content creation. Everything that goes well or goes poorly certainly happened for a reason. It's not random. There is meaning behind all these numbers and comments and analytics. It's up to me to find out what that meaning is, but more importantly, to make something useful out of it. Seeing comments like this one, seeing people connect with the little visual or audio references that I make, hearing people share that something that I said resonated with them in a specific and meaningful way. It's why I do this, and why I want to continue doing it as well as I can, as long as I can. A channel's sub count really doesn't matter outside of bragging rights. The reality is, each and every one of those people are individuals who I hope to somehow speak directly to try and warp my jumbled thoughts and ideas into something digestible for whoever might be watching. If I've ever done that, I've succeeded. I've ended videos recently with "I'm Rilo" and I talk about things that I think are interesting or cool, and as simple as that is, that's all this channel ever should be. If you've ever shown up for that, I really do appreciate it. So, this video was sort of weird. Pulling apart everything that I've done over the past year isn't something that I ever really intended to do, but to be honest, the rapid growth that I've seen on here is as surprising to me as it is to the people who accuse me of being a paid industry plant by whatever game that I happen to have just covered. Reconciling what I did right and wrong over this short journey is as much to give you all out there an idea of what a normal person making YouTube videos like this experiences, as it is for me to just reflect on where I am, how I got there, and what I can learn from the journey. I hope that this video demystifies the entire process in a way that helps people who might be considering going along a similar path in any way. Of course, thank you again to Raid for sponsoring the channel today. Use the link in my description or the pinned comment to sign up and get all the free stuff that comes with doing so. And thank you so much for listening today, viewer. I appreciate you more than you know. If you want, you can let me know that you're still watching with the word cheers. And with that being said, until next time.